Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome or live on ServiceNow. I'm here today with my best friends from Palo Alto, Darshna and Sajid. We're gonna take you through a really exciting topic. We're talking about how to accelerate your Prisma SASE deployments in ServiceNow with our automated workflows. And what does this mean? We have a solution to share. We also have some good framing from Darshna on like why this is important, why it matters. All right. So welcome to Live on ServiceNow. Again, very brief, safe harbor. We may say things, that are forward-looking, and just take that into account. Um, in the interest of that, we will give you an opportunity about midway through, depending on how fast we go through the content, to request a bit of a follow-up from us if you're interested in getting a little more information, a little personal touch with the solution that we've rolled out together in our ServiceNow Marketplace. Love to do that. Go ahead and go next, Sajid. All right. So we will have Q&A. We welcome Q&A in the flow of the session. Welcome all our international folks as well. Thank you for joining. So please feel free to use the Q&A piece. I will try to keep an eye on the chat, but ideally we'll use Q&A, and that way we can make sure that we haven't missed any questions. We'll record and post this to our community YouTube and to the blog where we announce this session. And you'll probably get an email for feedback as well. Go ahead, Sajid. Again, if you're, interested in signing up for more sessions, you can always, obviously just search Live on ServiceNow, or you can use this calendar link to find out what's the latest and greatest on our events coming up toward the end of the year. And one more. So without further ado, I'll let them introduce themselves. Darshna, Sajid from Palo Alto Networks are joining us to talk about Prisma SASE and ServiceNow today. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, Aaron. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Darshna. I'm a product manager on the Prisma SASE team at Palo Alto Networks. I'm focused on APIs and automation. I'm joined here by Sajid. He's a teamie on my team who has helped bring this entire vision of Prisma SASE app to life. So, thanks everyone for joining us. Now, let's just dive in. If you're on the network security or the IT ops team, I'm sure that you're tasked with deploying Prisma SASE, and you're likely stalled by the painful truth that is scaling within the service now is must be a nightmare, right? You've been forced to rely on fragile, costly custom API integrations for far too long, and we know exactly what you're dealing with. Today, that ends. So meet the Prisma SASE app for ServiceNow, and this is a certified native application with built-in automations and governance requiring zero custom code. We are here to show you how to install and instantly transform your complex SASE projects into simple, scalable IT services.
Yep.
So in the next 45 minutes, you will learn to automate the provisioning, manage the multi-tenant environments, sync the incidents end to end, and achieve all this from one single pane that you folks have centralized on, that is the ServiceNow platform.
Yeah, and Darshna, for those who are familiar maybe with ServiceNow and don't know quite as much about Prisma SASE, can you give us a little more on, what is the market leading SASE solution, and what should they know about it and how it works?
Sure, yeah. So Prisma SASE is the industry's only all-in-one SASE platform. It unifies the best-in-class security with high-performance networking for your entire workforce, whether it is in the cloud, branch, or mobile, right? The single operational framework ensures consistent policy enforcement and complete visibility everywhere. So what we say here is that the users can be anywhere, the apps can be anywhere, and all this is unified through our three pillars, right? The Prisma Access, which provides a full suite of cloud security functions. It provides advanced threat protection, advanced URL filtering, DLP, CASP. From a Prisma SD-WAN perspective, we optimize and secure the network performances, especially for the branch as well as the remote users. And then we have the ADEM, which is using the AI and ML technology to proactively monitor and resolve performance degradation, isolating issues before users are impacted. Right? Next
Keeping people
slide.
connected securely to all those critical apps we need to do our jobs every day.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So, yeah, before we actually just jump into the solution, let's take a look at the daily pain points caused by integration complexity, which is stopping you from actually realizing the true SASE value. On the left is the digital transformation roadblock. We have 83% of companies who say integration issues are slowing down their transformation. Why? Because building custom APIs takes too much R&D and it gets, IT gets overloaded managing too many separate dashboards for ITSM as well as SASE. And on the right, we have the management nightmare. Of course, we have large companies using about 130 different security tools and 19 separate incident tools, as the research indicates. And this huge mix makes security riskier and makes it nearly impossible to get a clear view across different vendors, especially in multi-tenant setups. Next slide, please. So we directly solve this integration challenge. The solution that we have provided is the certified Prisma SASE app, which is going GA this month and will be available on the ServiceNow store. This app makes end-to-end SASE management easy, scalable, and secure within your ServiceNow environment. So the key benefits, of course, we have a built-in control. All the automation uses ServiceNow's native governance model. Actions require admin approval, ensuring you maintain compliance and control over your sprawling SASE environment. And with respect to the automation piece, as I'd already mentioned, we have the infrastructure deployment, we have the ITSM and the ticket lifecycle management, and we have a bunch of dashboards to help you understand your entire SASE deployment. The immediate result, you can skip the complexity and constant R&D spend on custom API work, leading to faster time to value for your entire SASE deployment.
Sure.
Next
And when
slide.
you say multi-tenant,
Yeah,
multi-vendor,
mhm.
how does that work? Can an enterprise user who is on ServiceNow use it, or does it have to be an MSP? And how about on the Prisma SASE side if you've got multiple deployments?
Correct. Very good question, Aaron. So this app is can be used both by enterprise as well as the MSP customers. We do know that enterprise customers just need a basic configuration, but what they're worried about is the constant swivel chair approach between the SASE consoles as well as the ServiceNow console, and that is what we have tried to resolve. And we have tried to provide a method where all the IT admin needs to do is operate out of that one console, which is the ServiceNow platform. They can automate, configure, manage everything right from the app on the ServiceNow console, right? So now this part is okay. This is the built-in control as well as the automation that I've already spoken about. Next slide, Sajid. Yeah, so I've already spoken about the problem and the solution as such. What I would like to touch upon here is the Prisma SASE API gateway. Now, this gateway, what we do is that every communication that is initiated from the Prisma SASE or from the app itself goes through our Prisma SASE API gateway. And this way, we maintain every flow to be secure and we ensure that this is done because our API gateway, it's a stateless RESTful JSON gateway, and it ensures strict controls, including authentication, RBAC controls, OAuth2 authorization method. So this design guarantees that every command or data request that is initiated from the ServiceNow app is secure, it's routed to the right service in the backend, and it uses a clean, consistent design model. Next slide, please. Yeah. So just coming to this, as you can see that, on the top, without the ServiceNow Prisma SASE app, typically an IT admin would have to ramp up on the APIs, integrate it into into the custom automation framework, uh, or constantly test the APIs and maintain the entire framework. Cut over to the SASE app, all this complexity is removed. You just have to install the app, and then you can drive key control plane configurations to set up the earlier part that I discussed, the Prisma SASE value, where you can have the users anywhere, the apps anywhere. How do you connect all of them, right? That is where the Prisma SASE app comes in, and it helps you realize the true value of Prisma SASE from a deployment standpoint. Yeah. This is again a nightmare that the IT admins have to face. For an incident configuration, they have to go over to the Prisma SASE console. Then they have to do the constant swivel chair to check whether the ticket has been created on the ServiceNow instance. And then when they need to create a support ticket, they go to the CSP portal, which is the PANW's customer support portal. Now, cut over to the SASE app. We have tried to unify all these three functionalities into one single app so that there is end-to-end visibility. You can also correlate incidents with the support tickets.
And how would a customer go about getting this application? Like, what process did you go through to make it available?
uh, I mean, they basically have to just, download it from the marketplace. I think that entire part is going to be, covered by Sajid as a part of the demo. But
Yeah.
yeah, from a functionality standpoint, what we have been able to do is, consolidate everything from an automation standpoint, right?
Yeah, and I can tell you from the ServiceNow side, we do our standard certifications on all these
Right.
types of solutions. We can even pre-test those in environments. So we've also, we sort of have that certified branding on this connector, and so it's available for immediate deployment.
Correct.
And
And
we did have one quick question, and we may come back to it
mhm.
from someone in the PubSec on the West Coast. Wanted to know if this is already integrated into California's government compliance. And I don't know that if you have an idea of how maybe from the Prisma SASE side, if you know that you're already there, would this be something they could
I
take
can
advantage of
check
right away?
on that and get back to you. It's a great question. Let me, check with the folks. I know that, from a ServiceNow standpoint, like Aaron clearly mentioned, we go through a rigorous, certification cycle, and that ensures the safety and security, right, from an app perspective and all the components of SASE within the app. Now, from the SASE side itself, I would need to check with someone if, we have the required compliance so that you can actually work with this in the public sector. I will get back to you on this.
Correct. Yeah, and I know that through our certification process, depending on what part of ServiceNow, whether you're in like a GCC environment, this app will be replicated over to any marketplace that's supported now that it's been certified. So the app should be available, and hopefully we can connect the dots there.
Right. Okay. The next slide, please. Right. So, for those customers who actually have a ServiceNow multi-domain instance, the app automatically creates separate domains based on the Prisma SASE, multi-tenant hierarchy. So what that means is that, whenever the entire Prisma SASE tenant hierarchy is learned by the app, the domains automatically get created, and the data resides in those specific domains, maintaining security. Now, this ensures that from an MSP perspective, the MSP is a service provider, gets a holistic view across the tenants, but a tenant, a specific customer, would just be able to see the data which resides in his or her domain, right? Um, and coming to this, this is the final and crucial step. By actually building the app natively, we are plugging into this entire ServiceNow ecosystem. This is especially vital for environments with multiple vendors. So our app lets you use the core ServiceNow features like reporting and dashboards, performance analytics, and the most recent AI related functionalities and capabilities. And this helps get across vendor visibility and end-to-end visibility of your entire infrastructure and deployment. So after this, let me just hand it over to Sajid for the demo.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Darshana, for the high-level overview. Hi, everyone. I'm Sajid. I work with Darshana on the enablement of this app and like sort of testing it out and things like that, things of that nature. So let's go over the app installation and setup. And then after that, I'll go over the actual like features of the app and I'll show a couple demos to you guys. So hopefully that's exciting. So this is kind of the general architecture or workflow of how one might set up the app, right? So it starts with the app installation. It's a very easy process. If you have a ServiceNow instance, all you have to do is go to the store itself, and we have our app is like free on that platform. So you can just download the app. We have a couple requirements, which I'll go over in the next slide. Next, you'll have to set up your Prisma SASE setup. Again, that's also a very simple process. I'll walk you guys through how that works. And then you can get into the actual setup of the incident management portion of the app, which is the Prisma Access Notification and CDL log forwarding profile setup. So once you do that, an admin will be able to ingest their incidents within the app, as well as create CSP tickets for those apps. So he can view and manage all of his network and security incidents within his SASE tenants or platforms. And then we also offer multi-tenant dashboard views within our app. And yeah, I'll walk through all of these in the upcoming demos. This is just a high-level architecture. So the installation of the app is fairly simple. There are a couple of requirements. The first being that your ServiceNow instance must be upgraded to Yokohama. In the coming weeks, we'll add support for Zurich, I believe is what it's called. If you have an MSP hierarchy, you will have to activate the Integration Hub Starter Pack or the Domain Separation plugin. And then if you want security incidents, you'll have to activate the SecOps plugin for visibility into those security incidents. And then lastly, you'll just have to install the Prisma SASE app from the ServiceNow store. It's a free app. Anyone can download it if you have your ServiceNow instance. And the advantages of having the app on the ServiceNow platform, there are actually many. The first being we have data and platform integrity. So by creating scope applications, certified apps are isolated from the rest of the platform, and this prevents an application from maliciously or accidentally interfering with other apps or data outside of its intended scope. It also allows us to comply with security standards, so all certified apps adhere to ServiceNow security and privacy certifications. Our app complies with that, so we meet those standards. And then it's just best practice adherence too. So the process ensures that the app is built according to ServiceNow's architectural best practices, which includes following secure development principles. Okay.
Briefly, a quick live question. I think maybe this is for the Prisma SASE endpoint install. One of our attendees wanted to know if the applications work for the different OS platforms, Windows 11, Mac OS, Linux, and if it can be installed virtually.
Right now we do not have any kind of tie-up with our agent, which is the Global Protect agent. But in future, we plan to have any kind of GP incidents also integrated. So at that point of time, we will check the compliance. But as of now, there is nothing from a GP perspective. We do automate the deployment part, that is the mobile user configuration, but not taking any kind of incidents directly from the GP.
Yep. Thanks, Darshana, for that explanation. Okay, so now that you have the app installed, how do you actually set it up? How do you actually connect it to your Prisma SASE? How do you connect your Prisma SASE platform to your ServiceNow instance? So it's a very simple process. The Prisma SASE connectivity setup involves adding a service account, your service account credentials to establish trust between the Prisma SASE root or enterprise tenant and the ServiceNow instance. And then afterwards, ServiceNow credentials must also be created for ITSM integration. So I think I can just show this real quick, on the live app itself. So here I'm logged into my ServiceNow instance, and here we have our Prisma SASE app. All I have to do to set it up, it's very quick. I just have to go to our basic settings tab and then go to Prisma SASE connections. And then we have a couple tabs here to establish those connections. So the first thing I'll need is to go to this create credentials section, and I'll have to enter my client ID and client secret from my Strata Cloud Manager or from my Prisma SASE tenant itself. And then the tenant ID, the TSG ID. So all I would do for that is go to configure right here, click on new, and then enter the TSG ID, and client secret, and then give this configuration a name. That's all I have to do and ensure that it's active. And then once I do that, I'll have to create the HTTPS connections. So I'll go here, click on new, and then like enter the URLs. And the URLs are just our SASE API URLs. So I'll show what that looks like here. It's just our api.sase.paloaltonetworks.com URLs. And then lastly, you would input your ServiceNow instance credentials right here in this section right here. So you'd go here and then insert your ServiceNow instance username and password. That's all you have to do. Then you would just schedule the job. Once you do that, your entire tenant hierarchy will be pulled within this like domain scope section right here. The root tenant and all of its child tenants will all be pulled into this section. And then if you want to add users then to this instance, you just navigate to organization users. You can create new users from here or modify the roles of existing users. So we have different roles such as like admin or roles for users to create notification profiles and our other workflows. So it's a very simple process. It's a very quick process to set up the app. So that's that. Yeah, I'll just skip through these videos because they walk through essentially what I just walked through right now for the sake of time. Okay, now I'll walk through the actual features and benefits of the app itself. So this slide right here highlights a lot of the capabilities of the app. Darsh and I touched upon it earlier. I'll just run through it real quick and then I'll show a quick demo. So again, we support multi-tenant hierarchy support, so you can import like the root tenant and all of its child tenants. We offer out-of-the-box Prisma Access incident ingestion into the incident table, as well as log forwarding profile creation for incident ingestion. And then we offer domain separation, as Darshana alluded to, and then we also offer automated workflow creation for global protect, ZTNA connector, service connections, tenant creation, and policy creation with admin approval. So in the next slides, I'll show what that looks like. We also offer CSP ticket creation for Prisma SASE taxonomy. So if you have any incidents and you see like if you run into any more issues, you can associate a CSP ticket with those incidents from the app itself. You don't have to go to different platforms for either of those. And we also offer some dashboards just for more visibility purposes. So now we'll talk about the automated onboarding of our day zero workflows. There are two methods. You have two options within the app to do this. The first being through the UI itself, and the second is template-based. So I'll walk through both of those to show what that looks like. But the key advantages here is that we offer it allows for code-free automation. So the UI-based forms in ServiceNow eliminate the requirement for users to understand or manipulate any underlying JSON or YAML data structures or any of our APIs, and that makes complex deployments accessible to all IT staff. It's also an intuitive UI experience. The simplified form lowers the barrier to entry for administrators who may not be API experts, right? And then the step-by-step nature of the workflow, where all you have to do is select the workflow, edit the UI form, and then like initiate the workflow itself. That makes it accessible to a wider range of staff. So it's a very simple process. It's essentially a three-step process. So let me walk you through what that looks like through an example right here. So here I'm on a tenant within my hierarchy called Metron Labs, and I want to set up a ZTNA connector. Right here, I only have two connector groups called test group A and test group B. So I want to create a new one through the app. So let's do it through the app UI. Here I'm on the like front page of the app kind of. So I'll navigate to workflow settings and then ZTNA connector. In this tab right here, I can see all of the connector groups that are within my hierarchy. So if I'm an admin, I can manage the status of like all the ZTNA connectors that have been created both through the app and on the Strata Cloud Manager within the app itself. And I can see which tenants these have been created for, as well as the status of those. So to create a new ZTNA connector group, I'll click on this new tab right here in the top right. I'll give it a name real quick. All I have to do is fill out the details, essentially, of the connector group. So I'll give it a quick name and description, and then select which tenant I want to deploy this ZTNA connector on. So the tenant I wanted to do that on is Metron Labs. So now as you can see, the new connector group we created pops up here. And now I have to add my private apps. So I'll do that real quick right here. I'll call it OwnCloud. And I can enable like either TCP, UDP. It looks just, the UI is just like the SCM. And then I'll add the connector itself. So again, I'll just give a quick name, Snow Connector, and that's it. And then from the app UI itself, I can manage whether the tenant itself is up or down, when it was created, etc. After I mark that, okay, I've completed the setup, I'll go to workflow settings and then import template. Here I can manage essentially any of the automation workflows created by the app. So on the top right here, I can see there says new ZTNA connector workflow created through the UI, and it's on the Metron Labs tenant. By default, all workflows created will start with like a status of pending for approval. So within the app, we have an admin approval system. So not all users are authorized to deploy or execute the workflows. Only users with admin permission will be able to actually deploy them. So as an admin, I can go into this workflow and either approve or reject it. So for this, I'll just approve it right here. Once I click update, I can see that the workflow status updates to completed, and I can see this the like actual notes or error logs right here. Here I see that everything is completed successfully, so that's great. Yeah, the connector group was created fine. On the SCM, it pops up just fine too. I see the connector group we created, the connector itself, Snow Connector 1 right here pops up. And the private app that I initiated, OwnCloud right here, also pops up. So you can see from the app, it's a very easy process, a very intuitive process to uh, create a workflow using the UI. So yeah. Okay, next I'll walk through how you can automate the onboarding of a workflow using our template-based automation. So again, the general steps for this is very similar. You would just select the automated infrastructure deployment, so either your ZTNA connector, your GP infrastructure, MU creation, whichever. Then you can edit the workflow template itself, and then you can actually initiate the automated workflow. So again, I'll just walk through an example of what this looks like, because I think that's much more easier than me trying to explain it through words. So we've already seen what a ZTNA connector that setup looks like. So I'll skip through this and show you the service connection setup. So here I'm on the same tenant right here, Metron Labs, and I want to set up a service connection. Here I have none, so I want to set one up, and I'll walk you through how I do that through the app itself. So again, I'll navigate to the Prisma SASE app. I'll go to workflow settings and then directly to import template. Here I see that a service connection was created via a template for one of the other tenants within my hierarchy, Enterprise 2, and that it completed successfully. So one of the advantages of the app is that, okay, first I'll walk through how this works. So again, I'll just select which tenant I want to execute this workflow on, and then I'll select which workflow I want to execute. So within the app, we offer, again, as I mentioned before, multiple different workflows. You can onboard a tenant, set up the mobile user infrastructure, ZTNA connector. Here, I'll set up a service connection. And then we have multiple options to deploy a service connection, or like to select a template. So here we have out of the box we offer a default template, so it just has a couple dummy values, and then it pops up right here within the this code editor right here, and an admin or a user can modify specific values as they need.
Yeah. And if I may just add, the typical
Mhm.
problem that we've seen with customers is when they use the APIs, they don't know what the payload should look like, what the key value, pairs that need to be mentioned in the JSON body. So what we have tried to do is eliminate that problem, try to give them out of the box templates where they can actually use the reference values to know what to populate the template with. And the other point is, if there is a template that you've used on a specific tenant or on the same tenant, which has worked in the past, you can use that. You can actually import that template. You can, figure out, make those changes, small config changes, and reapply it on the same tenant or on another tenant. So say you have
Yep.
created one successful ZTNA connector. If you want to repeat that configuration, just, pull out from the historical set of templates, make the small edits, and then, apply it again.
Yeah, thanks, Darshana. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can deploy workflows instantly using our default templates, historical templates, which is using the existing templates, or we have like customized templates in a GitHub repo. That's shown in the previous example that I skipped. But yeah, we offer like multiple different options to rapidly deploy these workflows. So in this example, we'll use a historical template. We'll use an existing template right here. So I'll click on use existing template, and then I'll click on the Enterprise 2 one that we saw earlier, that service connection workflow completed successfully, sorry. Um, so I'll use that. And then as a user, I can see that deployment right here. So even though that one completed successfully, I can modify it as I please. So here I can change the name, I can change the IKE local identification, I can change the like IP configurations, the crypto profile, whatever. So I'll kind of skip ahead, but yeah, I can modify it as such. And I know like it's very quick to deploy, and I know that it's gonna work, or I have better confidence that it works because it worked for a previous tenant. So again, once I create a new workflow, by default, it'll pend for approval, and admin must approve of it. So if I scroll down here, an admin can click on the workflow tenant right here and inspect it in any code editor that he chooses and modify it as such. Once he approves of it, he can either reject or approve the workflow. So here I'll approve of it and then submit that workflow. It'll start as pre-queued because it's executing the workflow. And then after a couple seconds, yeah, we'll see that it executed successfully.
Yeah. And if I may just add,
And yeah,
the reason why we have this kind of an admin approval is because in future we want to tie it with the change management request. Now, as you know that, basically any kind of change needs to be tracked. And that's the reason why now, from the conversations that I've been hearing with the customer, that I've been having with the customers, they are keen on having automation driven from ServiceNow because of the fact that you can actually tie it with change management request. So that's a very powerful way of ensuring that your automation is tracked via service tickets with via change management tickets, as well as have the entire ITSM flow embedded into that one platform.
hmm awesome. Thanks, Darshana. So yeah, once this workflow is executed, we can see right here that it's been properly pushed to the SCM exactly as we've wanted it to be configured. Um, and yeah, here I just showed that like the push status, it properly goes through and then it's validated and such. So yeah, just to sum it up, the app itself, we offer automated onboarding of day zero workflows. We have two options, UI-based and template-based, and there are multiple advantages that come with these. It offers code-free automation, so it eliminates the need for anyone to have to understand our Prisma SASE APIs or build any of their own scripts. We handle all of that for you within the app itself. And it's a very guided and very simple process, as you see. We're able to deploy workflows very quickly through either the UI or the templates. And then finally, the main benefit, I think, especially with this like using the existing template method, is that you don't have to configure the same settings individually for each tenant within your hierarchy, right? So if you have like dozens of tenants, that can take a very, very long time. But within our app itself, you can just, it's just a few clicks, right? I can click on use existing template and then find one that works for me. Or I can use the default template, find one that works for me, and then I can deploy very quickly, very rapidly, any of the workflows that I want to set up. Okay, cool. So that's the automation of the workflows. Now let's talk about like more of the incident management side of the app itself. So usually like an admin will like a consistent profile across his hierarchy of tenants, especially for like largely distributed customers, right? So our app itself, we offer centralized hierarchical configuration management. So the ability to configure and automate network incident settings across tenants in a hierarchy allows a central administrator, likely at the root level, to define and push a single incident notification profile to select SASE tenants, right? So if I have like tenant A and tenant C, tenant A, tenant B, tenant C, I can push one notification profile to all of these tenants with just a few clicks through the app itself. So this significantly simplifies the management of notification settings across multiple customers or internal business units.
Yeah. And it's not only
Again,
the day zero installation, like,
mhm,
you may have to set up the notification profile on day one, but even the upkeep of the notification profile, like consider that there are, 20 new incidents that were introduced on our SASE platform. If you want to ensure that your, incident settings incorporates those incidents, you just have to go to the ServiceNow, this app, and then, you just go and include those particular incident categories
yep,
in the notification profile, and that automatically gets applied on all the other tenants. So that's
yeah.
the true value with respect to automation and simplification.
And it's a very simple process. It's a two-step process, as you can see here. You just configure your incident settings and then select which incident categories you want to have across whichever tenants you want. So we offer this out of the box workflow integration, uh, which is kind of referred to throughout the presentation, honestly. It just makes things very seamlessly, right? It means customers can get an immediate working solution without any extensive custom scripting, and this leads to faster deployment and a standardized, reliable workflow for handling network incidents. And then lastly, it allows for granular and targeted incident management. So the customer can select specific tenants and incident categories within the Snow application. And this allows them to receive and manage only like relevant network incidents for particular business units or areas. And this prevents alert fatigue and it focuses security teams on higher priority issues. So let's take a look at how to set this up through the app UI. Um, so here I'll show through the app UI itself actually what this looks like. So I'll navigate to the Prisma SASE app and then I'll go to incident settings and the notification profile. Here I can see all the notifications profiles that have been set up across my hierarchy. To create a new one, I'll just click on this like new tab right here. I'll just give it a name. Any name is fine. So demo notification profile. And then I'll select like the ServiceNow configuration uh, across whatever I've configured in the basic setup initially. And then I'll just give this like profile a name too. So um, profile. And then here we automatically like populate the incident table right here with the appropriate like fields. Just like the SCM, you can associate an email address or a webhook with the notification profile. So we offer that right here as well. And then here you can select which categories you want to set up for your profile. So I can select like configuration, network and traffic, and security services, whichever categories I wish to have. Uh, with those come a couple of subcategories. So I can select like certificates, licenses, and then if those have any like associated codes, I can select those too. So it's very granular, like how detailed I want my notifications, my instance to be. And then once I create this profile, once I select what I want to be captured within my notification profile, I can select like which tenants I want this notification profile to be applied on.
Correct.
So normally on the SCM, you would have to set this up individually on each tenant, which again can be a very, very tedious process. Here I can select multiple tenants at once, submit it, and it'll be pushed to the SCM.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we also have the other channels, which is email and webhook. If you want to have the integration with ServiceNow as well as the email and the webhook channel, that is something you can drive from the app as well.
And I
Yep.
think it's worth verbalizing. Anand asked a question about whether this is bidirectional for incidents across. So maybe you can talk about that component as well.
Yeah, so I have responded to that. I'm not sure whether my response is being seen because I've sent it to everyone. But basically, yes, we do have a bidirectional support. We are able to see the incidents back on Strata Cloud Manager, which is the management console for Prisma SASE. You'll be able to see the ticket that is created on our SEM portal. So that's how we have managed the bidirectional flow of the incident generation, creation, and management.
Yep. So on the app, an admin can also entirely manage the incident lifecycle. So there are a couple of things we offer here, right? We offer automated incident management and resolution. So the system automatically creates an incident ticket in ServiceNow when a network incident occurs. So for instance, if the state changes from active cleared on tenant A, um, it'll be captured and subsequently updates and moves the ticket to a closed state when the Prisma SASE incident state changes. So this minimizes the needs for any manual ticket creation and updates. And this accelerates the resolution workflow. We automate all of that for you. It also synchronizes the incident status, so customers benefit from the real-time synchronization of the incident state between the security platform for the SASE and the IT service management system, which is ServiceNow. And this ensures that the IT and security teams have an accurate, up-to-date view of the security issue and its status directly within their familiar ticketing platform. And then the final benefit is that it's all in a centralized workflow in a familiar platform. So by integrating the security platform's alerts and status changes directly into ServiceNow, the customer's IT and security operations teams can manage network incidents within their existing centralized workflow tool. And this reduces any sort of context switching and simplifies operations because it's all in one view, right? You don't have to like go to any other like applications, right, to manage your incidents and such.
Yeah, and if I
Oh,
may add, we
mhm.
have different levels of customization for this entire incident management. We do understand that, every customer has unique requirements with respect to what can be flagged as an incident and for which a ticket has to be associated with. So you can actually, when the incident comes in, you can have specific rules or custom rules set up to ensure that you pick up only the ones which are very relevant and for which you want to create a ticket so that there is no incident fatigue, so to say, and you just have to focus on the most relevant tickets that are created on the service now. So I think, Sajid, if you can actually show the incident mapping.
Yeah. So just to show exactly what Darshana means. So right here and under the like basic settings tab, we have a lot of options to customize the like incident severity, incident urgency, and like which how incidents come themselves. So let's take a very quick look at that right here. So here, this is like obviously Prisma SASE has its own way to classify incident severity. ServiceNow has its own method too. So sometimes people they don't want something classified as critical, right? So they can modify like, oh, hey, if something is marked as like high or critical on the Prisma SASE side of things, please mark it as like high, medium, or low on ServiceNow. They can entirely customize um, like what's mapped to what from the Prisma SASE side to the ServiceNow side. So we within the app itself, we offer this for the incident severity, incident urgency, and then the incident status itself too. So it's all a very similar process. Customers can entirely customize like how incidents are captured themselves. And then we also allow customization of the incident mapping itself, um, either through scripts or like you can select your certain fields.
Yeah, so just to add to that, right? Like for example, you have an incident for certificate expiry, which is deemed very high severity from Prisma SASE, but from your end, it's something which is secondary, right? You can actually use certain keywords on the incident to change the severity or to change the priority from your perspective, right? That is something which you need to modify as a part of the script. It's just a one-time setup. Once that is done, automatically anything that is getting ingested from our platform, you can rework on the severity of the mapping, the priority, as well as any other kind of customizations that you may have before it gets ingested onto that incident table and creates.
Yep. Yeah. So you can customize the incident mapping either through like what we've offered here, the incident status, severity, and urgency. That's all through the UI, or you can entirely customize it through your own scripts. It's however you like. It's a very um, granular process. It's however you want, how deep you want to go into it depends on you. And then again, so that's the incident customization aspect of it. And then I want to just touch upon what the incident management itself would look like. So within the incidents tab right here, we have both network and security incidents. Here you can see the incident number, when it was opened, which tenant it's associated with, the priority and state of that incident. So at a glance, an admin has a view of all of this and like which group it's associated with. And then an admin can click on the incident itself to get more details. If it'll load, yeah, right here. And then he can see like a better description, any related records, if it was resolved, and then any associated CSP tickets. If one was created, it'll pop up right here, and an admin can directly go to that CSP ticket. He won't have to go to any other platform or anything to manage the status of that. So I'll touch upon this too in a later slide, but
Yeah.
that's how the network incidents look within the app itself. It's all within one pane and very easy for an admin to view for all the tenants in his hierarchy, his or her hierarchy.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
just to add to that, right, a typical example is where, basically customers see that there is a remote network down, and they actually go and debug everything from the SD-WAN side. The devices are all looking good, all the configuration seems fine, but still the tunnel's down. So you suspect something incorrect on the Prisma Access side, right? And that's where you want to create a CSP ticket or a support ticket on our portal. So what we are trying to say is that when you see that incident, if you have done your side of debugging, your side of housekeeping, and you realize that that's nothing to do with the SD-WAN side or from the network side, and it may be related to Prisma Access, you can create a CSP ticket, and then there is an association between the incident and the support ticket. So that is the level of visibility that we are able to provide.
yeah. So I'll show that real quick. I know we're kind of running out of time, so I'll try to. There's two more features, two last features I want to show. So one of them being the automation of the log forwarding profile setup. So an admin can apply a single pre-configured log forwarding profile across multiple tenants. This is very similar to the notification profile. So this eliminates any configuration drift and ensures all tenants comply with central security policies regarding log retention and analysis. So this allows for faster regulatory compliance. So by automating the connection to an external HTTPS or a syslog server, the organization ensures security logs are immediately sent to the platform, sent off platform for analysis and archiving, meeting regulatory requirements faster. And again, it's all in a unified management platform and reduces overhead for MSPs. So let's take a look at what this looks like in the app itself. Oh, I've been signed out. Okay, that's very weird. I'll sign back in real quick. That's very random. Okay, so let's take a look at how this works. So I'm on my tenant Metron Labs right here again, and I want to create a log forwarding profile. Uh, so that has not been created. So let's create one through the app itself. So I'll speed this up. So again, I'll navigate to the Prisma SASE app. I'll ensure I'm within my hierarchy right here, Metron Labs. And then I'll go to incident settings and then log forwarding profile. I don't have one created, so I'll click on new. We offer two types, right? You can set up an HTTPS or a syslog profile. And then from here, I just have to set up the details, right? The profile name, the URL, the authentication username password. We offer multiple types of authentication. So there's Sentinel, Chronicle, basic, and Splunk authorization. So here I'll just use a basic authorization. And then I'll give it an email, I think. Yeah. for the notification. And then I'll add the log filtering details. So I can enter the log type. If I want to add any like log filters, like if I want to like filter by time, I can add that here. And then here I can include and exclude columns too. And then again, just like the notification profile, I don't have to set this up for all my tenants individually. I can just multi-select whichever tenants I want to apply this log forwarding profile on. So here I'll do Metron Labs and Enterprise One. On the app itself, it'll pop up here. So I can manage it here, monitor here as an admin and see when the profile is created, what the log type is, and for which tenants it's been applied to. Here we can see that the log forwarding profile is pushed to the SCM. And so this is on the Metron Labs tenant, but also I'll show that it's on the Enterprise One tenant, the child tenant within the hierarchy, just to show that it pops up on multiple tenants at once if I would like. And here it's right here. It's this profile called Sentinel-1. That's the one we created through the log forwarding profile set up through the app itself. And then here, after some time, I can see that the status of this profile is running. So it actually like functions as expected. And then the last feature I wanted to show off is the creation of CSP tickets within the app. So this is another great feature, I think. So for your like network and security incidents, you can associate a CSP ticket directly through the app. Again, it's all in a unified platform. You don't have to go through any other apps itself. All you have to do is create the CSP ticket through the app itself. You'll select your tenant, enter the CSP account details, and then enter the ticket details itself and attach any logs as you need to. Within the app itself, you can also view all the CSP tickets that were created. So this is very helpful for an admin. And yeah, let's take a closer look at what this looks like through a demo. So all I'll do is navigate to the customer supports ticket and then create CSP ticket section within the app. I'll enter the details of the ticket. So I'll select like which tenant I saw the issue on, what the problem area is. So here I'll select Prisma SD-WAN just as an example. And then the problem area. So this more specific area, which I'll select as routing. And then I'll add like just basic details like a number, email, serial number, and then the priority of the incident itself. So I'll kind of skip ahead here for the sake of time. And then here I can select a related incident. So within the network and security incidents that were populated, I can select like, hey, I want this ticket to be associated with this particular incident. And then I can add a description as needed. Once I create the ticket, I can upload any files that are associated with it, right, for debugging purposes or to provide any more details as needed. So I'll skip ahead right here. So I can add those details. Once I submit the ticket, I can view it within the app's UI, as well as all the tickets that have been created. It'll pop up here. A case ID and case number is automatically created. And this case number can be used to actually investigate the CSP ticket on like SFDC or other platforms. It's all created automatically. So here I can see like the full details of the CSP ticket. And then lastly, I want to show that the CSP ticket that it pops up within the like network incident that I associated it with. So if I click on the network incidents tab and then go to that incident, now that I've created the CSP ticket, I can see the same case ID and case number, and it's associated with that network incident. So yeah. And then the final feature is we offer like a couple of dashboards for like threats, applications, licenses, and the tenant resources. So this just lets an admin, it gives him a view of it's kind of like the SCM dashboard view. And this all happens within the app itself. So an admin doesn't need to go to the Strata Cloud Manager at all. He can manage his applications and threats all within the Prisma SASE app on the ServiceNow platform. And yeah, I'll hand it off to Aaron to close off the session.
Great job, Sajid. I
Thanks.
thought you managed to squeeze a ton of content into limited real estate. So I hope everybody, got at least a taste of what's possible with the app. I'm going to launch a quick poll and then go through our housekeeping. So again, if you're interested in this solution and the evolution of the solution, so there's more coming with this app. It'll be available for enterprise customers to manage, just, single state. It also is, ideal for service providers who are, managing like, a bunch of different customers and have to, associate all the different things that are happening. Is there a support case for a specific incident? Having the ability to see it all in one place really just sort of changes the game. So I want to thank Darshana, I want to thank Sajid for coming on and just, putting all this content together. There will be a copy of the content of the session content available from the blog post. So keep an eye out for that. There will be a little bit of a delay getting the recording up, but as soon as that's up, you should be able to see, we'll probably have follow-up emails or you'll refresh the page and that content should be up soon. We of course want to, connect you with all of our other resources we have here at ServiceNow. So obviously, if you're interested in deploying this and you're, wanting to make sure that you're getting it right, you can also work with ServiceNow personnel. The poll is so that if we want to get connected on the app and the evolution, we'll have your information available to our folks, our partners at Palo Alto, to do that follow-up and get you going quicker. Thanks again for joining. We hope to do this again in the future to share, new exciting announcements from ServiceNow on behalf of Palo Alto Networks. Again, just thank you and hope you have a great rest of the week.